And the reason I'm here right now and the reason you're seeing me on the screen is because the State Executive Council has decided to put out videos every month that have something to do with what's going on in FCCLA that month. So today I'm going to tell you all about how to make the most of NLC, or the National Leadership Conference. So without further ado, here are my top 5 tips of how to make nationals the greatest experience ever. My first tip would be to participate while you're at nationals, whether that be in star events or volunteering to help for a star event if you're not competing. Doing the media team, I was a member of the national media team and I had a blast. It was the most fun I think I've ever had. Just to be a part of that, you get to do so many things. You can also be a voting delegate, which is really awesome. I also got to experience that last year at Nationals in San Antonio. And being a voting delegate, you get to elect the new National Executive Council and you get to meet them and see what they're like and really get to know them on a personal level before they're actually elected. And that's really, really cool. I would also recommend going to Leadership Academy, and I've never got to attend that, but I've heard that it's wonderful. And so if you have the opportunity to go to Leadership Academy, I would definitely go to that. My next tip about nationals would be sightseeing. Most likely whenever you go to nationals, depending on what state you're from, obviously we're all from Oklahoma and here, but for those of you who are from different states that are watching this, you're gonna be in a different state from where you live. So I recommend going on tours. If you have the opportunity to do that with your chapter, I would definitely go on tours, and while you're there, visit some local markets. You can find some really, really cool things there that you may not be able to find at the mall or anywhere else while you're on your trip at nationals. So the local market is a really great place to look for unique souvenirs for yourself or maybe your family or a friend if you're wanting to bring something home to remember your trip. Try new food while you're out. When you're at nationals, you have the opportunity, like I said, you're in a different place than what you are normally. Some of you may have never been out of Oklahoma or your own state before, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that also means that you have the opportunity to try so many new things, and food being one of them. I know when I was in San Antonio for nationals last year, I tried some Mexican food that was a little different from what I have back home, and it was great. It really, really surprised me how much I liked it, because I'm kind of a picky person when it comes to my food, so I would definitely try out some local cuisine and see what the city has to offer. My last tip about sightseeing is to do one thing that scares you. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. What the heck? Why would I do something that scares me? I promise you, you will regret it if you don't. When I was in San Antonio last year, I went up in the Tower of Americas. Whenever we were there, we were on just one of our tours, and I was terrified. I do not like elevators, and I don't really like heights very much either, but I decided to do it anyway, and I knew I would regret it if I didn't, so I went up and I ended up loving it. It was scary, but I have that is one of my most vivid memories of nationals last year, was going up in the Tower of Americas, and I absolutely loved it. So I would recommend just doing one thing that scares you at nationals if you have the opportunity to do that. My final tip about nationals would be to have fun, and that seems like a very obvious thing, but honestly, you can kind of get wrapped up in what you're doing and all the meetings you have to go to and just everything that's going on at nationals. Maybe if you're a national officer candidate, then that is obviously very, very stressful. If you're a voting delegate, that's kind of stressful too, and so is the media team and just star events, getting wrapped up in all of that. I know it's hard to sometimes stop and realize that you're there to have fun too. Having fun at nationals is not a hard thing to do. If you just stop and take a moment to breathe and just think, hey, I'm here to have fun, I'm here to participate, and I'm here because I love FCCLA, and so do all the 8,000 other people around me, and I'm sure that there is some way that you will have fun that week. And one way to do that is to trade pins with other states. In your backpack, you will have trading pins. They'll come in a bag like this, and you will be able to trade pins with other states and get to know other people from all over the country, which is super exciting. And hopefully by the end of nationals, your lanyard ID badge will look just like mine did from last year. So hopefully by the end of nationals, your lanyard that you'll get that has your ID on it will look a little bit like mine. You may get to trade pins with all other states, but you will run out at some point, so you might get to look a little bit like mine. I obviously did my fair share of pin trading at nationals last year, and some of these are older than last year as well. I've been attending nationals for a very long time now, so I even have a pin from the 65th anniversary of FCCLA from Texas, and that was about 5 years ago. So some of these are very old. I think 2 of my Tennessee pins are older, those 2, but most of these are new, and you'll quickly find some pins that are your favorite as well. Like the Florida one from last year is my favorite pin that I have so far. But pin trading is definitely a great way to get to know other people and just strike up a conversation with somebody that you may have never met, including the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. They're some of my favorite people to trade pins with because theirs are very fun. Usually Puerto Rico has something to do with a frog, like this one, and I just think that they're so much fun to trade with. The next thing I would recommend to have fun while you're at nationals is to attend the gala. I love the gala. I had the most fun out of my entire week at the gala. It is so much fun to just get dressed up and just go dance the night away and have a good dinner and just enjoy your last day at nationals at the gala, and it's great. And you even get to wear your fancy attire to closing session, and that's pretty cool too because that's one less time that you have to wear your polo or your red blazer, and it's really, really fun, like I said, to just get dressed up and to see your friends all dressed up too. My next tip would be to visit the exhibits or the FCCLA store. Last year I got to meet Mike Smith from Dude Be Nice, and he was super cool, and I got to talk to him for a little bit. I got to talk to people from AT&T for the It Can Wait campaign. I got to speak with different teachers and just so many people who were there and enjoy FCCLA and want to be a part of it, and you get to make connections. I even got to pet a little owl that SeaWorld had brought in, and that was really neat too. Another tip would be to dance like crazy. I know that this would feel like it would be something that would go along with the gala, and it does. I definitely say dance at the gala. You'll love it. I'm not a big dancer myself, but I absolutely went nuts at the gala. That was the most fun I've had, and I danced my heart out. And but not just at the gala, but at our state meetings, the state officers, including myself, we all love to kind of bust a move every now and again, and it's totally okay to dance. And if it's something you're not comfortable with, then don't worry about it. But if you think, hey, I want to get up and dance, then go for it, and you will have so much fun. Take lots and lots of pictures. This was something that was kind of mandatory for me last year since I was a member of the NLC media team. So I was constantly on my phone taking pictures and uploading them to like Instagram and Twitter and all of that. But I would recommend taking so many pictures, even if you're not part of something like that. But just because you want to keep those memories and to keep them and to frame them later and maybe make a collage of your experience at nationals, and you'll look back and say, oh, I remember when I did that, and that was so much fun. And I love taking pictures. But the thing with that, do not forget to be in the pictures yourself. You don't want to end up with an album of pictures after nationals is over and it be all of your friends and all of people from your chapter, and you're not in but 3 of the pictures. And that's something I had to work on as well. I wasn't in very many of my pictures, so I'm definitely going to do that this year. I'm going to try to be in as many pictures as I can. Buy souvenirs. If you have extra money, maybe you don't, but if you do, I would definitely say buy souvenirs. And like I said, at the local markets, you can find some really cool things that you can get that you may not be able to get at home, and it'll just remind you of your trip. Last year at San Antonio, I bought a little cat. I would definitely say if it's in your budget, buy some souvenirs, buy something for your parents, because most likely they helped pay for this trip. So if you want to buy your parents like a little coffee mug like I do every time I leave, then I would definitely recommend doing that too. And now we're on to my final little section of my video. It's just my random tips. None of it fits into a certain category like my other ones did, so these are just random things that are gonna make your life easier while you're at nationals. Bring sunscreen and bug spray. I am obviously very pale and I burn super easily, so if I'm out in the sun for a while like you might be at nationals, you will definitely want to have some sunscreen on because you do not want to get burnt on your very first day and just be miserable the rest of the week, because that's not fun at all. Also, bug spray. Mosquitoes love me and they love to attack me, and so basically every time I'm outside I have to have bug spray on, otherwise I end up with huge whelps from getting bit by mosquitoes. So definitely sunscreen and bug spray. Next tip, do not forget your official dress. I know that this may seem like it's an obvious thing, but you wouldn't believe that sometimes people do forget their official dress and they have to borrow a jacket and they've got to get a skirt from someone else, and it's a big hassle. So just make sure that you pack your official dress or your alternative official dress. Make sure you always have that. With your official dress, you want to make sure that you have extra pantyhose. Ladies, pantyhose will rip like nothing else. Like I was saying, it does not take much for your pantyhose to rip and get a run in them this long down your leg, and if you forget to bring your extra pantyhose, odds are a girl from another state is gonna have some and you can borrow them, but I would just recommend bringing at least 5 pairs with you. No matter how many times you're wearing your official dress, I would say at least 5 pairs of pantyhose. Bring headphones if you can't sleep. If you're like me and you kind of have a hard time getting to sleep in a new place like a hotel, then I would definitely say bring some headphones. Also, if you're flying like most of us are, sometimes the airplane can kind of get loud. There may be a screaming child somewhere, or you may just want to block out the world for a little while. Then bring some headphones and just kind of relax and let those help you. Another tip for girls is to bring a crossbody purse. If you don't want to carry around the backpack that you are given, then definitely bring one of those crossbody purses, just a small one, nothing huge. You will not need anything bigger than this. And I would just recommend that because it's just big enough to hold a wallet and maybe some sunglasses and your cell phone. So that way you can have all the things that you need with you and you don't have to worry about the giant backpack if you don't want to. My other tips are to represent our state in a positive light. You always want to represent Oklahoma to the best of your ability, and make sure that you're always respectful to other states and to other advisors and just other members as well, and that way whenever people talk about Oklahoma they'll be saying good things. And one of the ways to do that is to always look presentable, always be in appropriate clothing, whether that be alternative official dress or your official dress and your red blazer, and make sure that you always represent us in a positive light. Another tip, since Nationals is in July, it is very hot, and you know, I know that it's hard for me to want to drink water sometimes, and so I recommend bringing a water bottle and filling that up whenever you can and just staying hydrated, because you do not want to get a migraine from dehydration. You don't want to feel bad while you're at Nationals because that can really stink and it can ruin your trip. So definitely bring a water bottle, refill it whenever you can, and drink up. So overall, Nationals is a wonderful experience. Yes, it is tiring. Yes, it is a bit stressful, but I promise you it is one of the most fun weeks of the entire year, and I hope that you all enjoy yourselves immensely while you're at Nationals. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below telling us what else you may want to see, and then share it all over your social media, and make sure that you subscribe to Oklahoma FCCLA. Bye guys! My final tip would to be, my final tip on Nationals would to be, oh my gosh, I can't speak today, words are hard. My final tip about Nationals would oh my god, why can't I word that right? I'm struggling. So this was my lanyard from last year, and obviously I did my fair share of pin trading, and I have hiccups. Alright, cool. Last year I got to meet, what's his name? Don't know what I'm saying. Thing that was kind of mandatory for me to do last year, being as I was a member. Words are so hard. I can't speak. Okay. There's somebody outside my window. That was super weird.